My heart was racing. I could feel the heat rising to my face, hear the blood pounding in my ears. In the silence. The silence left not in the wake of a particularly horrible test or the opening words of a speech, not the kind of silence that envelops you in your bubble of anxiety. No, this was the silence that fell on my classroom when I asked, but if every action has an equal and opposite reaction, well then, how does anything move at all? And in that moment, I wasn't thinking about learning or discovery. I was simply hoping I hadn't said something stupid out loud. And that moment stayed with me. We often describe science as a collection of facts, but every fact that we trust today began as someone saying, that can't be right. Think about it. The word atom came from the Greek word atomos, meaning uncuttable or indivisible. But if we had never questioned this indivisibility, well, then the entire field of chemistry would have stalled a long time ago. Growing up, atoms were never indivisible to me. They had always been protons, electrons, and neutrons. And so when I first heard of Dalton's atomic theory, I remember thinking, wait, how can that be true? These moments of doubt are not flaws in the field of science. They are the means by which science remains relevant. But doubt doesn't stop there. Looking back at that day when I first doubted out loud, I've realized that true knowledge isn't something that you get from those ideas that you find easy. No, I got true knowledge from the ideas I questioned and doubted the most. This is what defines the cycle of true knowledge. We observe, we doubt, we discover, and then we repeat. So why is doubt so essential to the cycle? Well, psychologists often describe learning not as absorbing information, but as constructing it, building up new understanding on the foundations of what we already know. We begin by encountering an idea. If we just accept it, it remains passive knowledge. It's when we start questioning it that something actually changes. If those questions get answers, understanding settles. If not, we keep searching, rethinking, and refining until this knowledge becomes something that we don't just know, but actually understand. And so maybe that's why these cards that I have here, they don't contain my real speech. In fact, they contain nothing at all. Because when you truly understand an idea, that's when you stop memorizing every word. That's when you carry its meaning with you. But even these ideas that we treat as the base of everything we know, well, even they aren't untouchable. They too can get questioned and refined and sometimes even completely rethought. Let's revisit the atom. So, once upon a time, we believed that atoms were these solid, indivisible spheres, the smallest possible units of matter. And then we discovered something smaller, electrons. And so we reimagined it, a positive mass with negative electrons embedded within it. But that didn't last either. Experiments revealed something unexpected, particles bouncing back as if they had struck something dense and concentrated, not little particles stuck in a sphere. That was the nucleus. And so the model changed again. and again and again until we arrived at the probabilistic, almost abstract picture of the atom that we have today. And if you compare that to the original idea of the atom, well, they barely resemble each other in the slightest. And that's the point. Science doesn't arrive at a final answer and stop, it evolves. That day, I realized the attitude that we have towards doubt doesn't exactly benefit learning. It restricts it. That doubt is an essential part of the construction of our knowledge, and yet somewhere along the way, we started treating it as something to be embarrassed of. And so, maybe the goal shouldn't be to eliminate doubt, but to stay with it a little longer, to question just a little deeper, to resist the urge to just go for the first answer that feels right. Maybe we should start seeing these doubts for what they really are, signs of genuine learning. Because doubt isn't the end of understanding, it is its beginning. And perhaps it is the very reason we know anything at all. Thank you.